What's going on, everybody? Destiny Center back with another Destiny 2 video. Today we're looking at a build that I'd like to call Explosive Juggernaut, which combines the effects of Bottom Tree Striker and the Severance Enclosure Exotic chess piece. Severance Enclosure is an exotic chess piece that generates explosions on energy melee final blows or finishers. Bottom Tree Striker has two key build components that make this all work. Reversal, which immediately procs health regeneration after a melee kill, and Knockout, which increases your melee range and damage. For whatever reason, when Knockout is procced, the game recognizes it as a powered melee kill, which actually allows you to chain Severance Enclosure's explosions practically at will. There is one limitation to the build, which appears to be a cooldown that Severance Enclosure has between generating explosions. From what I can tell, the duration is about 3.5 seconds, which in general gameplay doesn't feel too significant. The build does work in PvP, but I found it to be most effective in PvE activities such as forges, general destination activities, and so on. The radius and damage of Severance Enclosure's explosion scales depending on the enemy you kill with your powered melee or with your finisher. Your typical minor enemy, which is any red bar enemy in the game, generates an explosion of about 10 meters, as you can see with the Darcy range testing that I'm doing in the video. Your regular orange bar enemy creates an explosion of about 15 meters. And finally, your majors, which are your yellow bar enemies, create an explosion of about 20 meters. Keep in mind that the damage caused by Severance Enclosure encompasses you in a 360-degree field in every direction. That is side to side, up and down, and every direction in between. Looking at damage, within the Tribute Hall, my melee on the miner caused 7,017 damage of explosive damage. That scaled up to what appears to be 9,616 explosive damage when using a finisher on an orange bar. And the damage scales up even further when damaging a major, as it generates 12,918 damage to nearby targets. Take those numbers with a grain of salt. It's very difficult to test in any other environment except the Tribute Hall, and Destiny generally has bizarre damage multipliers depending on the enemy type that I can't really take into consideration here. If you take those numbers at face value, the bump in damage from minor to orange bar and explosion damage is about 37% more, and that scales even further from orange bar to major with an 84% explosion damage boost compared to the normal minor damage explosion. What I really like about this build is the sheer force that you feel as a Titan. You can run around punching everything, getting back your health, doing major area of effect damage to everything around you. In PvE, it reinforces the power fantasy of being a Titan, an unstoppable juggernaut that will often decide to use fists over guns. Normally that kind of build gets you killed pretty quickly. Here, it plays to your advantage by returning health and granting you excellent crowd control capabilities. The final thing I want to mention is that the super occasionally receives the benefits of Severance Enclosure in both PvP and PvE. The problem is that it seems inconsistent. Sometimes I could get it to proc without issue, and it causes you to become a runaway train with the bonus of also acting like an exploding shank every time you hit something. Other times, it didn't seem to proc even once when using my super. If I could reliably get the explosions on super hits, then I think this could secretly be an excellent build in 6v6 PvP playlists where you can run into large groups of enemies. Not only would you potentially be killing weak enemies around you for free, you'd also be weakening other enemies for your teammates to finish off if you aren't able to seal the deal yourself. I hope this build is something new for you guys to try out other than the current meta picks. It's super satisfying to use and gives an otherwise weak exotic an opportunity to have a little time in the sun. If you like the build video, let me know, and I'll do a few more in the near future. Thanks everyone.